Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching this episode of the Grease and Oil Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. MPS. This is Mr. Conductor Fan, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks. Well, wait, hold on. Before we go, we didn't talk about our sponsor. Did we?
I don't know. Who's
Okay.
our sponsor
So
this week, Vinnie?
This week, we are sponsored by the good folks at Mattel Creations. This week, we discussed, as you just heard the entire episode, we were discussing, of course, Big World, Big Adventures, which is an amazing cinematic masterpiece that will then spill over into the 22nd season of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, which will exclusively...
so happy about.
So you can catch the new series airing exclusively on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Well,
and only there. They're not showing it on television anymore because I guess a television show should never be shown on television.
It's too mainstream, man.
Yeah, we gotta go the fucking route of Stranger Things, I guess. And because of that, we're being paid by Netflix here to promote Stranger
Trains.
Stranger Things.
Good one.
That's
right.
Our new...
That was a good bit. All right, the bit's over now. We're done.
Yeah, it wasn't that funny.
Hi. Welcome back to the Grease and Oil Podcast, everybody. Episode... I don't know what I think this is episode 61, I want to say.
It feels like there have been so many more.
It feels like we're on episode 800,006.
It really has not been that very many episodes. If you really... We try to do it weekly.
Yeah, we were on episode 61.
We took big breaks. I'm saying we've been doing stuff weekly off and on for almost 2 years now.
We've been
Think about that.
Our best to keep it weekly.
It's really interesting to me because it has been almost 2 years since we started recording these.
I remember the first time we missed an episode, we were so fucking distressed. We were so sad.
Wait, were you?
Yeah.
I was, because I always remember being upset, and you're always like, yeah, whatever, it's fun.
But I was like kind of upset. I was like, God damn it, we broke our streak.
Yeah, it's like breaking a streak. I was like, hey, if I really want to say that a weekly series is going to be weekly, I like doing that, but sometimes shit just doesn't work out, and that, it's fine. But taking huge breaks to go to where you went to, like, fight in the Middle East or whatever. What did you do again?
I joined the Israeli army. Right,
okay, so you fought in the Syrian civil war for 8 months.
I accidentally killed the head of ISIS. Completely an accident.
Is that true?
Yep.
Oh my god.
100% true. I fired an RPG and I accidentally, I hit their base and he just died.
Oh my god. That's awful.
I had to do it to him.
Had to do it to him. Yeah, I know what you mean. But, hey guys, how's it going? I got, 3 hours. I went to bed at 5 in the morning and woke up at 9 to do a bunch of video stuff. So I'm working on a couple hours of sleep here. And I'm not too enthusiastic about what we will be talking about, despite our amazing deal with... I mean, we're not really at liberty to say how much Netflix is paying us for this sponsorship, but
let me just say...
We're looking at least 5 free pieces of Thomas Wood merchandise.
Let me just say, after this, I will go from the 1% to the 0.1%.
And I'll go from the bottom of the middle class and stay there.
Pretty good, dude.
Pretty good.
Okay.
So
I have a little story to tell.
Yes, please monologue and draw this out as much as possible.
I have a story to tell, and it happened just 3 minutes ago.
And this is a story about how 3 minutes ago.
I texted Vinnie this morning. I said, hey, man,
God.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to record a podcast. I'm ready to record a P. Because, sometimes typing podcast is too much work, so I just type, I'm ready to record a P.
You're not, it's not too, difficult. It's just, you're too cool for that, man. I get it.
I'm just a cool cat.
Yeah.
So I text Vinnie. I say, hey, let's record a P. And he doesn't respond. So I'm like, okay, whatever, it's cool. So I go get a bite to eat, I sit down, and I'm like, I want to play some video games. So I start playing Grand Theft Auto 5, I get bored of that pretty quickly. And then I'm like, you know what, while I wait for Vinny, I'm going to play a spooky video game. So I boot up Outlast on my computer. I'm in a creepy, spooky section where I have to sneak around in the sewer with the night vision camera on, and I can't see shit, and the volume's all the way up in my headphones, and every little noise is spooking the fuck out of me, and I'm just creeping around as best as I can, trying not to get caught and fucking murdered by a creepy, insane psychopath, and
suddenly you ran into one while you were avoiding one.
And then, right as the tension is peaking, right as I am at my most tense, as my butthole is at the most clenched it can possibly get,
the taut anus of Matthew Sonic,
the Skype ringtone blares in my headphones, the loudest noise I have ever heard in my entire life. I immediately shit out an enormous brick, and I have about 6 heart palpitations at once. And then I get a text from Vinnie, "Hey man, I'm on Skype right now, dude. Let's record." And let me just say.
Well, let's just say that you were aware of the fact that I was on Skype.
I was made very well aware of the fact that you were on Skype. Yes. So I had to take a second. I had to change my pants, and then after that, we're good to go. I'm also looking at the podcast channel, and I am realizing that we did indeed take a super long fucking break, because
it was
episode
way
51
too long.
Episode 51 was 8 months ago, and episode 52 was 2 months ago.
Yeah,
we just kind of
took a
fucked
break.
off
We took a break for multiple reasons. You were fighting. You were like you were trying to start up ISIS again or whatever.
ISIS. Yeah.
I had a lot of life stuff I needed to get through and big projects.
Also, I started college, so that's
you started college. I've been working on a feature film for about a year now, and who knows when the fuck it'll come out. I don't want to say when it will, but it will.
So basically,
it's still in production.
Little recap of the beginning here. I was playing a spooky game, and then Vinnie called me, and I blood farted myself.
You blarded the hell. You with like a fat guy beat. Blarded. You blarded.
Gotta change pants. So, moral of the story is, Vinnie, don't add Vinnie on Skype because he'll call you at the least convenient time possible and make you blurt yourself.
If you add Vinnie on Skype, he's not going to call you at all because I don't add people on Skype. That's the thing. Everyone that I have in my Skype contacts is someone that I want to talk to, and I don't want to talk to anyone else on Skype other than the people that I have. I'm good to go. I have connections with just about everyone in the fandom, more or less. That's like interesting to me, and I'm not really seeking out like, man, I can't wait to talk to
Ryan Tron 12.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, sure.
We gotta mention him every week, dog.
You're right, Cat.
It's gotta happen. We gotta do it to him.
You're right. Okay, stop.
Stop. You just don't like me doing it to him, dude. My friends and I also went and I think we picked out our house that we're gonna live in next year, so that's exciting.
Ooh, frat boys.
Yeah, can you imagine me in a fucking frat?
That's the joke I'm making. It's incredibly funny.
I can't imagine me in a frat.
You know what I can't imagine is living the life that Mr. Percival leads. He lives in a little house next to the main goods depot of a huge train depot yard. And Mr. Percival, I'm looking at his house right now on the wiki. He's got like a big duck pond in his front yard. And he's like got like 8 kids, but all of his kids don't look anything like either the mother or the father. So Mr. Percival decided, okay, so I want to be the thin version of Sir Topham Hatt. I want to have 8 kids, but I'm going to have to adopt all of them because my boys don't swim. And I'm going to have to marry this weird little redheaded woman or whatever. Or that's Miss Jenny. That's different. I don't know. I'm just going to live next to the railway. Like he really has never understood the philosophy of keeping work at work, I guess. It's a weird motherfucker, I swear to God.
I bet Mr. Percival was a frat boy. I bet he threw some keggers, dude.
Dude, and yeah, he was traumatized by his friend who was the designated driver who got totally wasted, and that's why, and he almost died that one night, but he didn't, and that's why Mr. Percival always rides bikes now.
I went to a party at a frat house here, like in the first week of school, and they literally had beer kegs in the walls. Like
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm 100% serious. Like literally in the wall, there were just like nozzles or like nozzles. You just pull down
nozzle
and
top.
beer just comes out of the wall. It was ridiculous and stupid.
I was at Book of Mormon for the second time on. I've seen this show twice now. It's very funny. I saw it on this past Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, and it was a huge rush to get into the city, to get to San Francisco, and to get the show. We got in like 3 minutes before the fucking show started and whatever. And we finally got there. We sit down, and I'm like, I haven't eaten anything in like hours. So I'm sitting there the whole time, like thinking about like I gotta eat something. And I'm really thirsty. And we finally get through it all, or get through the first act, and then get out. And we go to the guy at the bar. And you get can we get 2 Cokes? And the guy has, and it's not a huge deal, I just never really thought about it, the guy has a Coca-Cola gun. He's got a tap that's Coca-Cola that is nothing but never-ending Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's...
You could just sit there and go, and never... You could just do that. You know how fucking crazy that is?
Yep.
That's whack, bro.
That's just a common thing.
But I never, thought about it before. It's so weird.
I mean, it's not never ending. Eventually, you're gonna run out of Coca-Cola.
You could just sit there and just drink Coca-Cola. And that's the thing is, because I was so thirsty, whatever, just a little cup that we got of Coca-Cola was, I think one of the happiest moments of my life was drinking that. And it was the best Coke I've ever had in my entire life, other than that cocaine that you gave me when we met up in freshman year.
I mean, my crack pipe was new, and we had to just break it in.
Wait, you were a junior when we met up?
Yes.
That's weird, because I'm a junior now.
Ooh, and I'm a freshman now.
Which means that you need to come back to my house, is what we're saying. Confirming it now. MPS Vinnie sleepover 2K18.
I mean, I'm kind of busy for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you have hotter chicks to sleep with. I know.
Yeah, just doing things.
Yeah, well, it's doing thoughts, not things.
Anyways, do we want to do a tweet time?
Do we?
I mean, we can.
Okay, let's do a very brief tweet time before we get into the main segment of the show.
This is a bit that we did say we were gonna do every episode, and this week we actually did get some pretty good memes, and as well as, however, some pretty fucking terrible ones as well. But it's all good.
So I'm gonna go to So again, always do the visual thing, show the audience what we're talking about, and I'm gonna go to hashtag GAOP. And,
yes, ma'am.
Do what you gotta do.
So are we going to start from the most recent ones? Or...
Latest. Go latest.
I know,
backwards.
But are we going to start from the top and go down, or are we going to start from the bottom and go up?
I mean, we have 3.
We have...
3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7...
No, we don't.
8.
No, go to latest.
I'm
go to latest.
On latest, dog.
I'm looking at... We talked about all this stuff before.
No, we didn't. All this shit from the bottom down here with David Blaine and stuff like that was not shit that we talked about last episode.
Did I do the wrong hashtag? No, GAOP.
Dude, scroll down. There's tweets from Rick and stuff with me photoshopped onto David Blaine's face.
What?
You're so stupid. I asked people to Photoshop my face onto David Blaine.
Okay, so you just show shit. You're the one editing this. Oh, okay, I refreshed the page. There we go. Okay, there's a good amount. All right, let's go.
Okay. So, our first tweet... Our first series of 3... I'm not even going to read these. These are just bad. I'm sorry. John Hunter Kent at Gaming Blue Engine. These are just... Do better, please.
So, hashtag GAOP Flapjack meme says, I'm going to rape you, that's all. That's nice. Then he says, no train ever touched Thomas like this before. His wheels felt weak. Okay. And back at the station, the conductor had a little surprise for Thomas. None of these memes are very funny, but it's not really... Would you say that the tweet time segment of the show is a critical analysis of memeisms.
Yes.
In this case, I'm sorry, John. You're probably like 6 years old, but you can always be better, and you can always do better. You could do better, at least with higher resolution pictures, at least.
Okay, so our next one comes from Luke_plays_MC. Guys, what the hell is hashtag GAOP? I'm confused. Is this why memes don't get popular? Fuck you.
Yes. No, because he doesn't know. That's exactly why his memes aren't popular. It's because he doesn't use hashtag GOP. And you know whose memes are popular is Gender Treff at Chrissy's Zeg hashtag Brufbabra un Ukatami as alternative Zer hashtag GAOP gendertreff.2018 the transgender trans. So I think they mixed up some of the hashtags. We have been working on the transgender hashtag. It's a little different, but that's okay because we're open to all religions.
Yeah. You want to run that one by me one more time?
Oh, we're into all ethnicities. Sorry.
Try one more time.
All occupations.
There you go. Perfect.
Yes, transgender is my favorite job.
Our next.
I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a woman.
Good one. Good bit. Solid bit. Our next one comes from Vinnie's best friend of the entire world.
Dude, this is like my best bud, Vincente, because I think he voiced Bear in the most recent Sudgering Conflict episode, and he sounds a lot like me to the point where every time Bear was talking, I was going, I don't remember recording that. And every time he said, I was like, that sounds familiar. Did I do that? And I was like, no, I didn't voice Bear. That was totally this other dude.
So our tweet is, it's a picture of me as David Blaine frozen in a block of ice. And the tweet says, Wacko Magician is the greatest magician who ever lived. Howard the Duck made that on-air proclamation a sentence echoed by Reverend Quiet Dominator of Mad Fraud Productions, who referred to Wacko Street Magic as the best pasta sex I've ever had. That's like 18 memes in one tweet.
See,
trying a little too hard.
He's quoting it as if it's something that, like... Did we say that?
No.
We did. Okay.
He just threw together a shit ton of our memes.
It's a little. It's appreciated. It's a little over the top. Sure. It's a B plus. Vincente, you succeeded. You did it. Good work, Vincente. I'm proud of you.
Okay. Our next one comes from Brennan at the Red Ginty, and it's just me with David Blaine's body, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
At least the angle of the face is right. Like he found a picture that like works for the way that your cartoon is drawn.
Even from here, I can see David Blaine's sexy stubbled chin.
My favorite picture, because there was a good amount of memes that came from last week's episode, and I'm actually really happy about that because that's seeing stuff from specific episodes is really great and all. But my favorite meme, I think that I've seen in a very long time, is from at your pal.
Oh, this one's good.
This isn't just one of my favorite memes from this week. This is like my favorite meme I've seen.
So if you don't remember last week's episode,
like 5 months.
If you don't remember last week's episode, we just bullied the fuck out of this kid, your pal Ty. Like we fucked with him because of his grammar.
We totally roasted him, and he's an interesting kid for sure.
Well, you gonna read your favorite meme of all time?
Me normally versus me when I get bullied on hashtag GAOP, and it's kind of it's an interesting picture.
He basically just traveled to another dimension.
It's one of those really interesting shitpost account. Not shitpost. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe. See, the thing is a shitposting account any account that like either ironically or non-ironically post. Like, could Donald Trump be classified as a shitposting account?
I don't really care, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Because he posts shit, so, like, I bet.
Hey man, watch yourself. Lego Lover 117 is gonna get triggered when he hears you say that.
Dude, he could come. I mean, he could
come on your face.
Well, no, because he'd be too busy coming on his sister's face or whatever they do in the South. I don't know.
Got him.
He wouldn't be able to find my house because there's no Wi-Fi in Nebrahoma.
Double got him.
All right, so the next tweet comes from Mayo Hosco.
I don't even want to read. This one's just. I'm sorry.
Hashtag GAOP Sodor Beyond Porn. Wait, Journey Beyond
So
Sodor
stupid.
porn parody. Is this funny, Mr. Conductor Fan? And notice how they tagged me, but they didn't tag you because
No,
I'm
it's
cooler.
cool. It's not even my podcast. No, it's fine. I don't even care.
So,
honestly, it's fine. It's fine. I don't even care.
So
I don't even care. Honestly, I'm not a co-host on this podcast. You don't have to tag. You don't have to tag me in this at all. It's fine. I don't even. I don't.
It's the Vinnie and Mayo podcast.
I'm gonna go delete my account really quick if y'all don't mind.
So okay,
all right.
no, hold on. Cool. I'm glad to hear that. But listen, so the basics of a meme are to take the expectations of two combined entities and subvert them. This is the picture. So the title, like I said, is Journey Beyond Sodor porn parody. It is a picture of the island of Sodor with Thomas and a pornographer.
That's
it.
Pornographic actress. A pornographer is someone who films porn.
Is there any proof to you that she does not film porn?
I mean, you're not wrong, I guess.
Because women directors like Patty Jenkins are the future of cinema, okay?
Yeah, I have to
say... And I think that Patty Jenkins is very brave for also being featured in this porn picture.
I have to say, I really like the top right corner of this picture. Like, I really like the part, especially like right towards the center of the top right of this picture. I like the way that they like blend the shading and everything like that. It's pretty good. Also, you are breathing so heavily into the microphone. Sound like goddamn Darth Vader up in this bitch.
Do I really?
Yeah, you're just sitting there. Why does anybody listen to us? Our next one comes from Flying Thistle Studios. This is actually a pretty good meme. This is a solid one.
It didn't make me laugh, but it made me go, "Wow, people still care about that."
I know.
That's interesting.
After being
people actually pay attention to what I'm saying, which is not great.
After being disused and not referenced after season 2, Scruffy was sent to GAOP meme hell because we were the Scruffy fan club for one episode, and it's 2 pictures of really shitty Scruffy, like not like shittily like torn apart Scruffy, like. Along with the collection of the other memes we referenced, including Max from TurboTax, the Diesel who just sharded himself, Welcome Stanley, and Postman Pat, who we made jokes about on the day that the actor died.
I was talking about turtles. I was talking to Turtles about that the other day, and I just felt so bad in memory of that because Turtles uploaded the episode of Southern Conflict where where fucking Sailor John dies and gets hit by a train, and he uploaded it on the day that John Hurt passed away.
Can we just take a moment of silence and remember Postman Pat and John Hurt, please? Just one moment of silence, please. Thank you for that. All right. There's more tweets, but I don't want to read them because we're already 23 minutes in, and we have...
Poor steam-powered cyborg.
We have more shit to do!
Alright, so now let's get to the main course, the real appetizers here. That's the opposite. Those are 2 different things, you idiot. Wait, I just said the main course. Okay, so, let's see. So, I've done a little research before this episode. Big World, Big Adventures, the movie, is the title of this new Thomas and Friends film coming out in fall 2018. Following the feature, we're going to go into season 21, which, according to the Thomas the Tank Engine wiki, which is usually a fairly credible source, at least with this kind of information, they don't lie about these things. The season will be split up into halves, where half of it takes place with Thomas going to like Australia and Asia and Africa, and the second half is apparently like normal Sodor adventures, which I did not know.
You could literally say anything about season 21 and I'd believe it. I don't know shit about the TV series anymore.
Well, so you have some. Have you at least seen like the news footage of like the Leah, Rebecca, and Emily, and Thomas, and Bemba, and Deborah, and Henry number 1?
I saw very brief snippets of it because I had to download it for my Journey Beyond Sodor review,
which I haven't seen.
Which
yet.
Again got copyright claimed a record 5 times. Thanks, ABC.
It's almost it's almost as if there's copyrighted content in that video.
Fuck off! It's fair use, and you know it.
It is. Okay, so Matt and I separate. We've not read each other's predictions, but we have this list of entirely serious predictions about this new show, or this new kind of era in the show, at least. And we'd like to sort of go through with them and see, we can look back in a couple months and see what happened, and see what we got right, what we got wrong,
Yeah.
Because Netflix is sponsoring this episode.
Yep.
And we want to make their product look good, because that's what the TCC was all about, was making their product look good, and I certainly did that, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, what's your first prediction, Matthew?
Well, we start off with a fairly simple, basic one. I predict that Splatter and Dodge are actually going to return to the series as two international engines. They're going to come in as characters from the U.S., and they're just going to come back, and we're going to have a wacky episode with them.
I feel like they would be two characters from Canada because the actors were Canadian.
True,
that
you're
portrayed
right.
them.
You're right. Okay.
They're going to be these weaselly little asshole characters from Canada that are going to offend all the Canadians because their country is completely misrepresented.
The only time we see them, they're going to be pulling tankers of maple syrup.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. And they'll be like, "Hey, stop it! Hey."
Yeah, that's what Canadian people sound like.
Yeah, I'm like this. This is definitely what all Canadians sound like for sure. It's definitely this. Hey.
Good. Very good.
I'm a pirate. Hey.
Come on, man. All right, whatever. What's your first prediction?
My first prediction is there will either be a brief flashback, or more likely just a reference to The Adventure Begins, meaning Thomas was a little engine with a long tongue. He wanted to see the world and all that stuff. And they took that and, of course, made that the concept of this new show, which is
Thomas's
really not
long tongue.
Yeah, when I was little, hearing George Carlin say Thomas was a little engine with a long tongue, I legitimately always imagined him with a fruit roll up for a tongue, or something like it just kind of would fall, like it was coiled like a fire hose, and he would open up his mouth and just go and it would roll out like a red carpet into the sleepers in front of him.
All right, well, my next prediction is that coming right off of the success of their number one single, the new Thomas and Friends theme song for Big World Big Adventure Season 21 will be composed and performed by Post Malone and 21 Savage. I think
I think it should be the same vein in that, making a movie for families and teenagers and everyone, like Black Panther should definitely have the main songs have both N-words and bitches in it.
I think it'll be good, especially the part where Post Malone or where 21 Savage talks about fucking all the female engine bitches on Sodor. I think that'll be very
and
child-friendly.
because of this cultural gentrification that's happening on Sodor right now, with getting rid of Henry, bringing in Rebecca, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's more bitches to fuck than ever before.
They'll actually introduce an engine portrayed by Post Malone. He'll have
he's got like the whatever barbed wire. He'll have
is
on his head.
Dreadlocks and gold teeth.
Oh my God! And he'll be like Salty's pirate buddy.
He'll always have a cigarette in his mouth.
Post-train Malone.
He'll how normal engines fill up at the water tower?
Oh no.
Post-train Malone will fill up at a tower that's filled with Bud Light.
I was gonna say,
That's the only thing he'll drink.
So the next prediction that I have is that Ace the race car is the reason which there's this big this cocky race car comes about talking about a world tour or something, and somehow this connects to Thomas the Tank Engine, and Thomas wants to see the world because of that, and I believe that he will have the exact same personality as Lightning McQueen from the first Cars movie, and I really think they're just introducing him as I guarantee to you that if the Cars franchise did not exist and was not as successful as it currently is and always has been for the past 12 years, I guarantee that this character would not exist, because Thomas and Friends needs its Lightning McQueen character. They've got their boats, they've got their Bob the Builder, Jack in the Pack, they've got they've got their Barney the dinosaur. They got all those dinosaurs in the dinosaur park. They got all these different kids brands, except for cars, and now they do.
And
fucking weird.
Going off of merging brands, let's move on to my next prediction. I believe there will be an episode where Thomas has to haul a very special. It'll be a large box, a very large box. And Thomas will be like, oh, what is this? And then he'll be driving and he'll go over a bump and the box will break open. And then what comes out of the box? The Cloverfield monster. And the Cloverfield monster will wreak havoc on the island of Sodor. And it'll be like a whole found footage thing. It'll be Thomas racing around with a GoPro strapped to his head, screaming as the Cloverfield monster squishes all the other engines.
War of the World.
It'll be a good one. I think the Cloverfield monster will be a fully CGI creation, animated by Arc, or whoever the fuck does animation nowadays.
Nitrogen still does the show.
It'll be good. And so the entire rest of the season after that will be dealing with the fallout of Thomas being the only one still alive on Sodor.
Oh, so they'll do like the beginning of Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Where like Bruce Wayne's like looking up at the sky. This is what you did.
Except it'll be the Cloverfield monster instead of Superman.
Sir Topham Hatt looks up at the Cloverfield. No, Sir Topham Hatt looks up at Thomas. Do you bleed? You will. You will.
That's what
Batman sounds like.
Vinnie just choked on something. I think it's just me now as your podcast host.
See, half of these predictions that I have are jokes, but half of them seem fairly realistic, and I don't want them to be true, but like it's pretty likely that they'll happen. I really think that both the narrow gauge and miniature gauge engines will never speak again.
Oh yeah.
Not counting Victor, who will be referenced heavily and racistly during the Latin American segments.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my home, Thomas. Or some shit.
They'll give him a sombrero and a huge mustache.
Even though he's from Cuba.
Just the biggest. He'll have two maracas.
Mexico, Cuba, Spain, whatever.
He'll have two
it's
maracas.
All the same.
He'll also have a necklace that has an AK-47 on it.
And it'll fucking say, like, Yo Quiero, Thomas Bell. Some shit like that. I don't know.
That's a good one. Very good one.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
And speaking of Mexican things, I think there's going to be an episode where they open up a Taco Bell on the island of Sodor, and Thomas has to transport a Baja Blast tanker from the docks to the Taco Bell, and wacky things will ensue.
And the Baja Blast tanker will have a face with glasses, and No, I'm saying that you. Well, okay, actually, if you're voicing him, then definitely a porno.
Sorry, mustache, not a porno mustache, a puberty mustache.
Do you still have that?
Hell no.
Do you shave all the time now? It's good.
Yeah, I shave like 2 times a week.
You were so gross in person. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm just so gross in general.
The mustache, though, it was just like, I remember, I don't know if I've ever told you this, and it's probably not a great thing to say it on the air, but I remember as soon as you left, my mom was like, does he know that he has, like, a weird pube mustache? I'm like, yeah.
That's super funny.
Yeah, my mom was like, does he know that's not, like, doesn't look good?
Yeah, your mom's a savage, dude. Your mom's a straight savage.
My mom is fucking roasting you. So my next prediction is that Rebecca, who is the big yellow engine that is she's not introduced in the movie, she's going to be introduced in season 22. I feel like she's going to have some kind of disability, which will be far less subtle than, because that's the thing, is that when they introduced the idea that Theo would have, was it autism? What was it?
Sure.
Asperger's? See, I don't want to.
I'll show you a fucking Asperger.
All right, shut up. So it was either Asperger. I don't know. I'm being very intolerant of people who have these things. I forget. He had some kind of mental disability, and then you've got, this is not at all a mental disability, but it was. I'm not implying that it is, but I think, what was it? Fucking what's her name? Lexi was like gender fluid and all this stuff, and the movie never conveyed it in a way that's like, hi, I'm Leo, I'm autistic, I'm Theo, I'm autistic, blah blah blah. It was like, it never was that kind of a thing. I feel like Rebecca is gonna have some kind of really obvious, hey guys, I have Down syndrome, or like some really awful thing that's gonna be very blunt about it, and they're gonna make it like really stereotypical and very offensive towards people who genuinely have whatever shit she's got, like I don't know, chronic depression or something.
Good one.
Which is maybe that's why she's painted so colorfully, is because like her controller was like, hey, she feels like dark, soulless, black nothingness. Let's make her like bright yellow. You know what's gonna boost her spirits? Make her look like a fucking banana. Great idea.
Make her look piss yellow.
Yum yum.
All right. My next prediction is that we will actually have cameos. We'll show up, but we'll be like
Matt. What the fuck? We weren't supposed to talk about that.
Oh shit!
Why are you talking about?
We didn't.
Okay. Next bullet point is that I think I'm pretty sure Ashima Asma will be coming back to sing a reprise of "You Can Only Be You." This time titled, actually, you know what, Thomas? No one likes you being you, so go back to your branch line, you fucking cunt. Actually, just go back. And that's the whole title. It's just like
I
that.
was on board until you named the title, then I was super on board.
Okay. Next bullet point. Yeah? Next bullet point, Matt.
Yeah. My next
Read your next
bullet point is that
point.
P.T. Boomer will return to the series as well. And he will return under his original alias of P.T. Bomber. Did you ever hear that theory that P.T. Boomer's name was actually P.T. Bomber and that he was supposed to be a mad bomber trying to blow up the island?
Yeah, I've heard that theory, but it...
Because I certainly remember
It holds absolutely no water because the first draft of the script was written in April of 1999... And the very first draft of the script, his name is P.T. Boomer.
See, but that's why you least expecting it when he returns as P.T. Bomber, dude.
He doesn't even know that the island of Sodor exists in the movie.
Well, the movie's not canon anymore, is it?
Yeah, and neither is your fan theory.
No, dude. They'll introduce him he'll be a new character, dog.
Oh, right. Terrorism. You're just trying to enforce your weird Syrian refugee beliefs now.
Shut up, dude. Shut up.
All right, so in the new series there's a big old stereotypical American Injun from like the old West. His name is like Bew or Bow or something.
Bo.
I don't know how to say it.
It's Bo.
And he will be an avid conservative and preach to Thomas about how Hillary rigged her own election and put chemicals in the water of the Grand Canyon that made the frogs gay.
So basically what you're saying is he'll be Lego Lover 117.
He will be busy fucking his sister who is a tender. His own tender.
Good. That was a good one.
And Bo's face will be the first Injun to have a face on their tender, and it's gonna be really interesting.
My next prediction is that Flying Scotsman will not appear again.
Oh my god! Wait, dude, my next bullet point was about Flying Scotsman.
Whoa, dude.
My prediction is that Flying Scotsman will appear briefly, but for some reason they'll never acknowledge that the mainland is England, and they'll make up a new character to introduce Thomas to the United Kingdom for some reason.
Yeah, that sounds more likely. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because like Flying Scotsman was in like the Journey Beyond Sodor, like he's in that movie for a split second. Mm-hmm. So like they've got the model and they've got the fact that he's a character that works at that location. It's like, oh yeah, Victor's at the Steamworks, and Bash and Dash on Misty Island, and Flying Scotsman at Vickerstown Station. Like it's all that kind of a thing. So I think he'll appear again briefly. But I don't think he's gonna be like, come on, Thomas, I'd be so excited if like, come on, Thomas, let me show you England, and like he goes around, here's London and blah blah blah, and here's the Thames River and whatever. I think it'd be really cool, but they would never do that.
Speaking of characters that appear again, I bet Tiger Moth will make a return to the series, dude.
In India, and he'll show him all about Indian wildlife.
Which is weird because Tiger Moth has a Japanese flag on him.
Oh my god, you're right. He does.
He totally does. But he'll appear in India.
So what? So he'll hang out with Hero or something?
Yes, but he'll still be Indian for some reason.
And he'll be voiced by so I don't know the guy's name, but the guy who plays Cleveland Brown in Family Guy is like the whitest person you've ever seen, and they'll just get him. No, you know who they'll get? They'll get fucking Hank Azaria, who plays Apu in The Simpsons.
Thank you. Come again.
Thank you. Come again, Sir Topham Hatt. Oh, so Fat Controller, Fat Controller, you'll not steal my squishies.
Would you like another squishy, sir?
Also, squishy Bart Simpson, do not steal that.
Alright, good. Okay. That was a little racist bit for the day. Glad we got that all done and over with.
For sure.
What's your next one, dog?
Did you run out of predictions?
No, we just did mine. Mine was Tiger Moth's gonna come back, dude.
Oh, alright, whatever, man. So Nia is the new African Indian, and she's got this comically large African nose, and it's kind of going back to like the whole weird shit with, you know, cartoon characters of black people being drawn with large noses and huge lips. It's a little weird. But I believe that she will arrange and create a terrible lynching session of Henry and Edward in the town square for them to pay for their crimes of racism.
Oh my god!
And it'll be like kind of like a reverse. I don't know, to kill a mockingbird or some kind of like 12 years, 12 they're 2 there 4 there 6 there 8 years a slave.
Jesus Christ, man! Come on, dude. How am I supposed to top that, dude?
Is that pretty good, Matt? What's your next bit, Matt?
My next... Jesus Christ. My next theory is that Butch is going to return, but he's once again going to not have a face for some reason. Like he did in Horrid Laurie.
Oh.
Because we just never got an explanation as to why he didn't have a face in Horrid Laurie.
I had to make a custom, or I didn't have to, but I was making a custom truck a couple weeks ago, and I took my old take-along Butch that I had for a really long time, and I went through 2 different box cutters. I broke the blade of 2 separate box cutters, and then I took a huge, really strong screwdriver, and I ripped off that too. And I ripped off the face, and I recommend it to just about anyone. If anyone's got a take-along Butch, or really any kind of Butch, even the weird CGI smiley Butch, it makes a damn good troublesome truck face, because it's got like the 5 o'clock shadow and everything.
Really?
It's really not. It's really dope.
You know, honestly,
I mean, I'll never know why characters like Bert and Bert and Butch have like facial hair, and the guy Bo has facial hair as well. I don't get that.
You know, I'm gonna give a hot take here. I preferred when Butch did not have like a major role, when he was just like a fun little cameo you could spot in the background. I preferred him as an Easter egg.
It was totally an Easter egg because he had never really had a role.
His biggest role was once again in Horrid Laurie when he didn't have a fucking face for some reason.
And, like, I always associated him with, like, Calling All Engines, because Calling All Engines was the special that he appeared in the most.
Yeah, he came and knocked down the shed.
He came and knocked down the shed, and he was, like, there in the background when Diesel got, like, the bananas and all that shit. Like, he appeared a whole lot. He appeared in Horrid Laurie. He appeared in...
Cranky Bugs. Gordon Takes a Tumble.
Oh, yeah, Gordon Takes a... Oh, yeah! There's, like, that one shot. I remember that.
He was in Rusty and the Boulder a shit ton.
Yeah, you're right, he was. He had a face in that one, though.
He did.
He had a face in Rusty and the Boulder, which is really weird. Which is what they based the Ertl on. But okay, anyways. I believe that Toby and Henrietta will abandon Sodor after leaving the main cast to a farm in Scotland where they'll go and make a big family with many, many, many coach tram children.
Oh, that like a hybrids?
Like hybrid children.
Oh,
and
that's some Shed 17 ass shit.
They'll have a whole farm of them.
Good. Is that it? Is that all you have to say? Is that
yum
it?
Yum.
Okay.
Yum yum.
My next one is that I think now that they've introduced Big Mickey into the series, fuck it, sky's the limit. Let's introduce all the other characters from Tugs into the series.
And how will they be integrated into the international plot?
I'm not a writer. I'm just throwing out ideas here, dude.
All right. So there's a character called the Australian Airplane, and I believe that the Australian Airplane will take Thomas on a journey through the air in some kind of sling, and it'll rip, and he'll tumble into a roaring river that the other new characters have to save him from, and it'll be like a really expensive sequence to produce, and the only cool thing they do. So I think that'll be pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good theory.
What's yours? Your bit.
Well, speaking of Big Mickey and Tugs and all that stuff, I think we're gonna see a return of Bulstro the Bard. She's gonna show up when we least expect
You're just coming up with like characters that you know will never be in it,
dude. Because I like
listing them.
I like all those weird niche characters. I love Bulstrode. I love Bulgy. I love I didn't say Bulgy. I like Butch.
Bulgy's in the show now.
I know he is, and it's so strange.
And he's I don't want to complain about it, but his model his CG render is absolute garbage.
It's real weird. Also, I'm out of ideas, and I'm just coming up with things off the top of my dick. So
I can tell that, but just the tip. Yang Bao will have I believe that Yang Bao will have no discernible personality difference from Hero, despite the fact that they're completely different countries. They're from completely different countries. Like, one's Chinese and one's Japanese.
Have we ever heard Yang Bao talk?
In the new series, we will.
Okay, no, I think this will be a perfect opportunity for me to cast me as Yang Bao. Here, this is my audition for Yang Bao. Actually,
you could be old. You could do old Bao, but not young Bao.
I want the chicken fried rice and the egg foo young and the egg roll, the spring roll with the.
And he can say this because
beans.
kids. Matt is Asian. Okay, don't freak out. Matt's Asian. Doesn't mean that's okay to say. It's not good. Anyways, I think Sir Topham Hatt will get to drive Ace the race car at some point, and terrible hijinks will ensue. Some kind of really awful slapstick comedy will happen.
I would hate that so much.
But out of all the predictions we've made, that's probably the most likely because the Ace the race car toy for Thomas and Friends Wood has a Sir Topham Hatt driving it with little driving goggles on it.
I hate Thomas and Friends Wood so much.
Let's not go down that path. My next prediction is that if they ever talk about Scotland, Donald, Douglas, Duncan, and Harvey, the 4 Scottish characters, will never be mentioned once. They're gonna come up with a new Scottish engine that has like a kilt pattern,
and he'll be voiced by Matt Twillman.
And he'll be voiced by David Tennant.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he was voiced by David Blaine.
By Danny DeVito. My favorite Scottish actor, Danny DeVito, the M&M man. It's chocolate. Will you eat me? Do you want to eat me?
I'll eat you anyway.
No one wants to eat me. Good. And my final prediction is that at some point in the story, Thomas will bite off more than he can chew. Just at some point, maybe Dick, but whatever. And he'll end up back on Sodor at the end of by the end of the 24th season, in which a new space station is being built on Sodor, and the vicious cycle of Thomas wanting to go out and leave his branch line will always continue, because there are multiple books called Thomas on the Moon, and I think they're going to adapt from that.
I have one more theory, actually.
Yeah?
Paul's Vids will become the new head writer of the series, and Shed 17 will be made canon.